While exploring the snowy north, be on the lookout for a clump of 3 snowballs because they might be holding a secret. Place a bomb and wait for it to explode, well, you might just find a grotto. And don't think these will always be in safe places either. Giant snowballs might be rolling right through them. So, stay safe as you do some holiday grotto hunting. In the Goron Village, you can find the Goron Gatekeeper that can open the door to let you inside the palace. However, if you find him on day 2, you'll notice that he's missing. In fact, all that's here is a giant rolling snowball, and Tattle is a bit suspicious of it, so give it a big old Goron punch and see what's inside. Looks like he Goron rolled into a snowball. Anyway, wait until the final day, and you'll find the Gatekeeper turn into a snowball yet again, but this time, after we give him a Goron punch, we find he's completely frozen. Better thaw this guy out quick. Man, I hope he gets overtime too. In the center of Goron Village, you can see some interesting symbols, and the middle one looks like Majora's mask. Now around that, we can see some dancing Gorons celebrating, and next to them, we see these dinosaur-like creatures, likely a Dodongo, but not these little guys. These symbols have red protruding spikes, which more so resemble the King Dodongos we see in other games. Now, Darmani, our Goron, was a great hero who came from a line of heroes. Could he or his forefathers have slain the King Dodongos long ago? Pretty cool to think about. This dashing fellow is Darmani, and when he was alive, he was a renowned hero of the Gorons. But not only that, he hails from a line of Goron heroes. If we take a look at this giant boulder sculpture in the center of Goron Village, we see what appears to be a heroic Goron, complete with hair made from snow and all. Could this have been a depiction of one of Darmani's forefathers when he took on the King Dodongos? Man, I want a Legend of Goron game. Listen. That's the sound of a Negeron, which can be found near the northeastern region of Termina. Tattle will be quick to tell you that it smells like gunpowder, and sure enough, if you attack one, it'll blow up and leave behind bombs. Wait, are there guns in this game? Anyway, now the Negeron looks similar to the common Goron, especially when rolled up into a ball. These aren't your friendly rock-eating roly-polies. Looking at their names, while similar, we see the prefix neji, which could come from the Japanese word nejiri, which means twisted or contorted. Now we only see these poor creatures here in Termina. Could they have been twisted Gorons cursed by Majora's mask? Maybe. In Woodfall Temple, you can spot these carnivorous lily pads floating in the poison waters. Jumping into one as Link or Zora will result in you being eaten alive before being spit out. Normally, to use these pads, you would need to either cleanse the water or hop across as Deku Link. But there is another way. If you happen to have a couple of bombs, you can cheekily feed one to the lily pads and watch them explode. Now last time, we learned that the Negeron was comprised of gunpowder, and that Negerons and Gorons may have been closely related. So, stands to reason that Gorons may be made of gunpowder as well. And sure enough, it will explode if it tries to eat that big old Goron snack. Unlike butterflies, moths found in Woodfall are not typically friendly. They can be seen floating around fire sources like torches, and should you light a stick, they'll chase you around and even damage you. Now, sticks and torches aren't the only fire sources to attract them. Pulling on a bomb will ignite its wick, and that will also attract the moths. Better still, bombs are one of the few things that can actually kill the moths for good. And before you ask, yes, the powder keg also attracts and destroys the moths. God, I hate these guys. Throughout your travels, you might run into these Deku Flowers. As Deku Link, you can hop inside and shoot up to temporarily fly around. The yellow flowers are much the same, but can typically shoot you up much higher. Now, when Link jumps from a tall height, he'll normally sustain some damage. But a neat feature of the Deku Flower is that they will actually cushion your fall. So let's line this up, take a big leap. There you go, perfectly fine, no damage. I guess this explains how Link survived that initial fall when chasing down Skull Kid. Even Link looks surprised. And don't worry, we had plenty of time. The Gerudo Fortress is chock full of guards on the lookout for intruders. By standing right here at the start of the bridge, we can see just how far their vision extends to, and it's around here before you're caught. But if you set this up at night, you'll find that guards tend to have worse vision, giving you a few extra steps of leeway. Of course, none of this matters if you have the stone mask. They are absolutely hopeless day or night now. Head into the palace and we can see our monkey friend getting punished. While we're here, we can see our fellow Dekus performing a backflip 180, but they aren't the only ones. We can also do a backflip 180 just by letting go of the target button and spinning midair. This is incredibly useful. In fact, you can use it to grab this heart piece atop the clock tower super early without having to do the whole entire moon tier quest. Question is this a glitch or a trick? I mean, they do show us how to do the technique right here. What do you think, doggo? In Ikana, you can spot a man running in a field. And it isn't just any man. This is Sakon the Thief. And he's a jerk. Like the bird that steals your sword. I hate this bird so much. Sakon steals from the old and meek. So let's go talk to him. And when you do, he immediately points out that we've got a nice sword, and he'll even be bold enough to ask to see it for a second. And if we do, Tattle will immediately freak out and attack his face. If we try to talk to him again, Tattle will pester him all while playing this wonderful noise. Serves him right. For now. Sakon the Thief, aka the Prancing Man, can be seen at night trying to sell these stolen goods which he took from the old woman. We can see him haggling with the curiosity shop owner, and once their transaction is done, he runs off feeling gypped, only having gotten a measly 50 rupees. On night 3, we can run back and try to purchase the stolen goods, and it just so happens to be the bomb bag upgrade for 100 rupees. That's a bit steep, and slightly more expensive than the bomb shop's price if they had managed to secure the goods at only 90 rupees. Now these series of events are a part of a larger Anju and Cafe questline, where Cafe peers through a small hole opening to spy on the transaction. Fun fact, the hole that he looks through pokes directly out of the giant golden armor in the curiosity shop. But wait. In order to reunite Anju and Cafe, we have to let an old lady get mugged? Not on my watch. I'm here to protect the grannies. Give them a taste of the bomb mask. Oh no. This turtle enemy is called a snapper, and it's kinda nuts. When paired with a gecko, it's nearly unstoppable. Now, Tattle's next to no help as her description yields no useful information about it. Did you know that its shell could bounce off snot bubbles, and its hook shottable? Now, to defeat one normally, you would use these Deku Flowers found around the arena that can pop Deku out of the ground and knock them over, but there are a couple other ways to flip them as well. You can toss a bomb, or a powder keg, or even use the Goron Pound to flip them over. And since nothing seems to hurt them, well, it's time to bounce. The Pirate's Fortress is designed to protect its treasures, but a few of them are pretty well hidden. Check out this skull on the wall here. If you happen to shoot either of its eyes, you'll get a reward. There's actually another skull like this in the wall of the main treasure room where the hookshot is. However, you only get one prize from shooting it this time. It seems to be the forehead. And if we go to the corner, we can see that they're making some food. I wonder what it is. The Elegy of Emptiness is used to make copies of Link in his various forms, and they have some sort of practical use as they can be used to press down these switches. Well, some of them can, all except the Deku. This thing can't do much of anything. It's useless. In fact, when you feel useless, just remember that Deku has an Elegy shell. Oh, who am I kidding? We can find a use. There's totally a use. Are you tired of being smacked by popcorn from these blowholes, trying to climb out just to be smacked right down? Pop with Deku shell and bam, that's popcorn intercepted. Standing tall? Fear not, Shardy's got you covered. Nailed it. The bow comes with various elemental powers, fire, ice, and light, and they each have their own abilities, but they can also change an enemy's drops too. For example, we'll use the blue bubble. Let's start with the regular bow. Killing one with standard ammo will result in dropping 3 items, either 3 hearts or 3 rupees, depending on if you're on full health or not. Cool. Next up, ice arrows. They will force the enemy to drop a single heart or a rupee depending on your HP. So it's worse. Maybe it freezes their heart or something. I don't know. Now the fire arrows are way more useful. Killing an enemy with these will net you a 30 arrow pickup. Nice. And of course, light arrows. Killing this enemy with these will net you a large purple rupee worth 50 big ones. That is excellent. Now the cousin of the bow, of course, is the hookshot. Let's see what it can do. Just a bit more. Just feel something is here. Just give it to me. Just give it a little. I can feel it. I can feel. Majora's Mask is interesting in that certain events are done over and over again because of the Song of Time mechanics. One particularly interesting event occurs on night 2 when you assist Creamia in taking her goods to Clocktown. But while accompanying her, masked Garos will try to destroy the milk she's transporting. With the assistance of your bow, you can help defend her jugs from oncoming attackers. And if you succeed in the defense, she'll thank you. But the way she does it can actually change. If it's your first time helping her, she'll present you with Romani's mask, which can help you get into the milk bar. However, on subsequent runs, you'll be presented with a large gold rupee, which is worth 200. Not too shabby. But there is another gift. Sometimes, and I'm not sure why, you can perform poorly or spectacularly in the defense. But sometimes, instead of a giant gold rupee, she gives you a giant big hug. Question is, which of these two would you rather have? There are some unique differences between the US and Japanese versions of Majora's Mask. The game is divided into 3 days, and whenever you start, it will say dawn of the first day. In the US version, this will continue to say dawn of the second day and dawn of the final day. However, in the Japanese release, translated, it roughly says dawn of the first day, but then changes to dawn of the next day. And apologies, but Tsugino here roughly means next. Pretty cool change. And then it turns into dawn of the last day. The final change, or should I say the last one, is one of the most easy to spot. Check it out. Pretty cool how they kept the font, but changed the word. Which do you think sounds more menacing? The last day or your final day? On day 1 of the Honey and Darling minigame, we can get a chance to hurl an endless amount of bomb chews at these targets. But it is limited, as we can only shoot out 5 at a time. I wonder what it would be like if we could use more. Luckily for us, in the Japanese version, you can launch an unlimited amount. What could go wrong? Bomb chew, bomb chew, bomb chew, another one, chew, 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 chew. What is happening? I can't, dead. It's dead. It died. You'd think with the Song of Time, nothing would be missable in Majora's Mask, but you'd be mistaken. In the very intro of the game, there are 4 panorama shots of Link entering Termina, and this is the one you've probably seen, to the south. But if we head to the east, it looks very different, focusing instead on the observatory and the area around here. Now again, you can only get this cutscene once at the start of the game. After you've entered Termina, you will no longer be able to grab these cutscenes. I like the one from the north. It has some pretty cool shots from up high, but by far my favorite one is the west cutscene. I love the camera work in this one. Kinda wild how 3 out of 4 of these are never seen by most players.